I think that's brought investors back to exploring Hobart because we do have really low vacancy rates.
Are the mainland buyers genuinely surprised that homes are getting the prices that they are? Today, we're discussing Tasmania, the state that saw a huge boom during the pandemic and as a result, prices surged. I'm here with Patrick Berry, Director of 414 Property in Glenorchy, north of Hobart, to discuss the boom, the opportunities, and why are Aussies flocking to Tassie. Patrick, can you give us the lowdown on how the market has changed in the last 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, 100%. Look, the pandemic was huge for us. I think Tasmania became that safe haven, a little island that was sort of separate from all of the drama that came with COVID.
Yep.
But it did push prices like nuts.
Yeah.
When we first started seeing things happening, like all of a sudden everybody wanted to buy that bigger home because they were at home more, they were not heading out, and so they needed more space.
Yeah.
And as a result, prices started just driving up further and further. And in, I think it was only 5 years, prices rose by like 50% in that really short period of time.
It is crazy. And with that surge, I will say there's also been now a bit of a price correction. Can you talk us through how this price correction has played out in your market?
It boils down to what areas. Like some areas have been hit a little bit harder than others. So my area, the northern suburbs, is more of a blue collar sort of everyday suburb. We probably haven't been hit as hard. We saw some early price adjustments shortly after 2023, but they quickly sort of plateaued and then sort of just kicked back into gear like normal. But I talked to a lot of valuers when they come out to obviously work on our properties that we're selling, and they're telling me that the ones in the sort of the higher, more famous suburbs, your Sandy Bays, your Taroona, Acton Park, the larger, more expensive suburbs, they seem to be a lot longer days on market, a lot harder to sell. They seem to be taking that bigger hit when it comes to the price adjustments.
Yeah, I wonder if that has anything to do with people just being, I guess, a bit more cautious.
I think it's a mix of being cautious, a mix of potentially they rose so fast and now people are worried about spending that sort of money on those
Speaking
properties.
of that rise, though, who was driving that price growth?
Depends who you talk to. If you talk to local Tasmanians, they'll say it was people from what we call the mainland.
Yeah.
I don't think that was really the case. So from what I've read and what I can see, I think mainland buyers and investors were probably less than 20% of the market.
Yeah.
It was really driven by more local people just looking to upgrade their house from their first home to their second home, just upsizing really is what I saw.
What is the appeal of the Tassie lifestyle? What sort of people are attracted to it?
I think it's people that like a bit more relaxed lifestyle. You come to Melbourne, Sydney, and it's busy. It's go, go, go. Hobart can be known as slow Bart at times. It does feel a lot slower, a lot more relaxed.
Yep.
We get frustrated if traffic jams last more than 10 or 15 minutes when we're heading into the city. So it definitely seems to be people that maybe are looking for a little bit more of a slower, relaxed pace. Outdoors play a huge part in Tasmania. Like we're so lucky, like you can be in Hobart CBD, you can be 5-10 minutes later and you're up Mount Wellington doing bushwalks, mountain biking.
Beautiful.
You've got so much natural nature right on the doorstep of where you can potentially live. So it really opens it up.
Is affordability the key driver? Are the mainland buyers genuinely surprised that homes are getting the prices that they are?
Yes, I think they are. We see a lot of mainland buyers. You get your typical investor, your mum and dad investor trying to get ahead. Maybe they own a property in Sydney or Melbourne, but they want that extra property to get growth. And they do look to Tasmania for investment properties. They see them as a cheap option. The other big area that we see a lot of people is retirees moving. So we get a lot of people from Queensland, Northern Territory, hotter parts of the country that choose to relocate to Tasmania as a retirement option. And I think it's potentially two reasons. They can open up a bit of capital when they're selling their home and relocating to Tasmania where the homes are a little bit cheaper. But then they're also getting a little bit more, getting away from that heat or the hotter weather, and it's a little just bit easier.
That sounds so backwards to me. I'm always chasing that hotter weather.
Which I agree. I know my wife would like to move to Queensland because we don't like the cold, but it definitely seems to be a driving force. As a lot of Queensland people do move to Tasmania.
Look, with this rapid price growth, I want to know how this impacted local buyers. Did they find it difficult to keep up with rising home values?
For a while there, that 2022, 23 point, it was crazy. Like we'd put a property online and hours later we'd have multiple offers, properties selling. And it was actually really hard. You didn't get a chance to really digest the property that you wanted to purchase. It was go to the open home, 30-minute open home, leave it, make an offer or miss out is what it boiled down to.
Yeah.
So I think that was really hard for a lot of local buyers. They were really struggling, and I think that did cause them to start bidding a little bit rapidly because they were so desperate to buy something that maybe they put in a few too many offers, or they missed out on 4 or 5 homes and they were over it. And so I think they were forcing the prices, from desperation more than anything else.
With that price correction, Hobart is now sitting at about 8.3% below its previous peak.
Huh.
Does that market feel more settled?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, now days on market in my area especially,
Yep.
sort of 3 to 4 weeks is sort of the average time on market.
Yep.
People have got that opportunity to look at several homes and not run the risk of missing out.
Yeah.
The only time that really differs is if it offers exceptional value for money. So it's a house that someone's gone and done all the renovation work to it and it's presented perfectly.
Yeah.
Those still obviously disappear quite quickly.
Yeah.
But the average home, most people have got time to look at that, compare it to other properties in market, and find the thing that probably works best for them. And it allows my team, especially as well, to work with buyers to help them better understand what it is they're chasing. So my team is now pivoted and they're spending a lot more time working with buyers than they are with vendors and helping them, I guess, match what it is they're looking for. And I don't think buyers sometimes know exactly what they're chasing either until they get told what it is they're looking for.
What areas are they chasing? Is it cities like Hobart and Launceston, or is it those smaller towns?
I'm not brilliant on the northern part of the state. I do hear that, Burnie and Launceston have been quite popular marketplaces. I heard Burnie's quite good from an investment perspective at the moment.
Yep.
In my Hobart marketplace where I tend to work, we do find the outer suburbs are becoming quite popular with families. So you've got new growth suburbs like Brighton and Sorell, where you're seeing a lot of new families, young families moving into those areas.
Yep.
The councils there are really supportive. There's new schools that have gone into both locations, a lot of infrastructure around sporting facilities. Sorell is a great example. They've just done highway upgrades to be able to get traffic flow happening better there. The same as Brighton, we've got a new bridge that's created better traffic flow.
Yeah.
And so I think the Tasmanian government has now identified those two suburbs as areas that can grow and can hold more people. So they've worked a lot with those local councils to improve the facilities so people don't have to travel back into the city as frequently.
So in your current market, who are your buyers? Is it still people from moving interstate? Are you getting more young families through, or is it kind of the downsizers looking for a bit of a tree change?
It's changing rapidly. At the moment, over the last 3 months, we have seen investors return back to the state. I'm guessing, things like interest rates starting to come down over this year has probably brought people to market a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's brought investors back to exploring Hobart because we do have really low vacancy rates. So if you are looking to buy an investment property, it's not going to have many days vacant. So that's got to be a driving force for investors. We do see a lot of families still buying a lot of homes. We don't get as many sort of international buyers as what we were for a while there. So we were getting a lot of people that were coming into Australia for full-time residency and moving to Tasmania as an option. We don't see that as much. So it's probably investors, younger first-time buyers and homeowners. And then the occasional relocator / retiree sort of makes up the last bit of it. But I reckon it's probably about 50% of that marketplace is investors or first-time, second-time buyers.
So tell me what properties are most in demand then. Are we talking the 3-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 2-bath, quarter-acre block?
4-bedders are always popular.
Yeah.
Tasmania's not known for having a huge volume of them. So a lot of homes are traditionally 3-bed, 1-bathroom configuration. Yep. So if you have got couple of kids or a larger family, the 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom homes do sell a lot faster, and there's something that a lot of people are chasing. Yep. So they are definitely in demand whenever they become available. Outside of that, your traditional 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home that has sort of got no work that needs doing to it, that's the other property that disappears quite fast. Anything that needs a little bit of renovation work or is a little bit tired tends to be a bit slower because construction cost and trades in Tasmania are quite hard and quite
probably
quite
isn't
high.
Quite there. Yeah.
So that's where it gets a bit difficult. So if you've got a property where everything's done on it, it sells really fast because people know it's hard to renovate and to get trades.
So tell me about the speed of your market, because in cities like Melbourne and Sydney, property can be and still sometimes is listed and sold within a week, and a great proportion of our homes in the mainland are sold via auction. Like, how does Tassie compare to that?
For whatever reason, auctions never really took off in Hobart or Tasmania. We do get some occasionally, but it's normally driven by an owner that is mainland based. And so they're more used to the auction campaign and the auction process. For a local Tasmanian, they tend to go to market with private treaty. A lot of agents tend to use like an offers over type scheme where they might choose the price of offers over 500,000. And it's kind of like publicly showing the reserve, I guess, is the best way of describing it. So you're saying to a buyer, we'll consider any offer over this price point, but don't talk to us if you're thinking about offering under, is sort of how we market a lot of our homes. The other weird thing about Tasmania is we do things a little bit in reverse. So you can sign a contract subject to finance and a building inspection, which potentially takes that home out of market for 21 days while they work through their finances.
So what if that falls through? Then you pop it back on market.
So we leave it on market the whole time, but we can't sell it to anyone else during that period of time.
Sure.
So we're kind of like fielding out other inquiries, building up a database of potential people. So if it doesn't go forward, we can jump onto it with another buyer. But it does mean that when you look on like realestate.com stats, it'll show like 30, 40 days on market, but that probably has 21 days finance built into that time frame as well. So the true day on market of when a house goes to market and then we get the actual contract could be anywhere from 14 to 20 days, not 30 to 40 days like it showcases online.
Now, looking to the future, what do you see as the biggest opportunity in the Tasmanian market right now? Like, where is the growth?
Hopefully we get a stadium in the future and that takes off the Hobart and Southern marketplace, because obviously big infrastructure investment brings opportunities to the town. There are a lot of developers that are saying that they are actually not looking at moving forward with larger projects if deals like that don't go through. But I still think it's your outer-lying suburbs, your Kingstons, your Sorells, your Brightons, Lagana up out of Launceston. They're suburbs that are sort of 5-10 minutes out of the CBD are the ones that are going to have the best opportunity for growth to be able to make good money in the future. Your inner city suburbs are probably still at a bit of a peak at the moment, and I'm not sure how much growth is there on the short period of time.
So talk to me about the challenges in the Tassie market.
Sure. I think the biggest challenge in the Tasmania market is if you are a first-time buyer and you're renting at the moment. Tasmania is known as having some of the highest rents compared to wage growth in the country. So if you're paying rent and also trying to save for a house deposit, it can be incredibly hard for a lot of people.
Tough,
So the Tasmanian government's tried to create initiatives where they are helping out by pitching in money towards first-home buyers getting into home ownership, but it's still, from what I understand, quite a difficult process. And the bank of mum and dad and those type of things are becoming still things that first-home buyers are having to look to be able to get a foot in the market.
So then what are your top 3 tips for any prospective buyers?
Get yourself organised first. Like, go to your broker, get a really good understanding of what it is you can afford, because if you don't know what you can afford, you don't know what you should be looking at.
True.
Be prepared to, I guess, sacrifice a little bit on your wish list. You might need to change a few things here and there, or look at a slightly different suburb to what you're hoping to be able to get what you can afford. And if you are looking, I guess, to get things like building inspections done or any extra work that needs to go into the property, sort of have that lined up ready to go. So when we do give you those timeframes to get stuff done, you can make it happen bang, bang, bang really fast. Because if we can go to an owner and say, these people are switched on, they've got their finance pre-approved, they know which building inspector they're going to use, they've already spoken to him, they can get him through next week, that'll make an owner feel more comfortable about accepting their offer over potentially a different offer that they may be considering.
So what about sellers then? What are your top 3 tips for them to really maximize that sale price?
Yeah, anything you can do to like remove the butts out of a house. So like when we talk about like looking around your home, like if you put yourself in the buyer's shoes, if they're walking around and they're saying, I'd buy the house, but I'd have to fix this, or but I'd have to do that. If you look at those and you can fix those, that could improve the sale price. The other thing I really like to do is tell my owners to walk out into the street, cross the road and look back at the house. Because we put the price and the address of most properties online.
Curb appeal is massive.
People do a drive-by normally before they pick up the phone and talk to us.
Totally.
If you need to spend money on it, spend it in the front half of the house, because that gets them to talk to us, and then we can help coach them through any other things that might need fixing throughout the back of the property.
Do you have one more thing for sellers?
Be open to like listening, like not so much listening to your agent, but like it's a two-way street with communication. We only know what you tell us. So if there's something that you're concerned about or that you think's a problem, let us know, because we might have a solution to help you fix it.
So Patrick, if you could get your crystal ball out, what does the Tassie property market look like in 5 years' time?
Well, for me, I'm really hoping that we can get more construction happening. Tasmania is known for not getting a huge volume of construction, and I think that's what is causing a lot of our rental issues that we have with low vacancy rates and obviously causing issues for first-home buyers to get into the marketplace. I think if we can stimulate that part of the market, then that can flow through to people buying their first and second homes, which overall will hopefully continue to increase prices moving forward, which is good for everyone, I guess, is what I would like to see.
Before we wrap up, I would really love to know, what is your property mantra? I guess, is there any saying that you live by in your work life?
Thought really hard about this. It's a really hard one for me. I try not to let anything worry me too much, I guess. So like day to day, whatever.
It's that laid back Tassie life that you
I think it is,
live.
yeah. Every day things are going to be thrown your way that you have to deal with. And I guess my go-to is just like take each day as it rolls and just try to work through the problems. There's always a solution. It's just trying to figure out what that solution is.
Well, Patrick, thanks so much for joining me. It's actually been very fun to dive into the Tasmanian market. It's one that we really like to showcase, and I think it's got a lot of potential. So thank you so much.
No, awesome. Thanks for having me. It's been good fun.
Thanks for joining me. This has been Real Talk. For your weekly fix, please follow wherever you listen to your podcasts and tune in next time for more real questions, news and insights on the topics that matter most from realestate.com.au, Australia's #1 address in property. All information provided is general advice and opinion based on current market conditions. These opinions should not be treated as investment advice. Always obtain advice based on your individual circumstances.
Real Talk acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, air and community. We pay our respects to elders past and present.